What's up, guys? Jorge Coxa here, founder of Rescue Love Ministry, and I wanted to just drop by to talk to you a little bit about treating depression like a real thing, like a real condition. I just got off of a seminar. I just did a seminar for a group of young people in Maryland, in Virginia, and we talked about depression and how to help a loved one, how to help a teen with depression. And one of the things that I see very often that comes up in the comments section and in the questions is, well, what if the person is using the depression for their own benefit? It's not a question that just came up this time. It's a question that has come up more than once. What if the person is utilizing the depression for their benefit? And really, this question plays into the idea that depression is not a real thing, or that you can just will yourself out of depression. But it doesn't work that way. Depression isn't something that you can just will yourself out of. It's just not something that you can just decide not to be. I'm going to decide today not to be depressed. It's not sadness. We treat it oftentimes as though it is sadness, as though it's just, oh, I'm sad today. And, and then when we talk to people, it's like, oh, well, get over it. Get over being sad. We don't address the underlying things, the underlying issues. We don't address the underlying pain. We don't address the underlying feelings. We just focused on this thing, right? This ephemeral thing. Okay, you're depressed, get over it. You're depressed, feel better. Will yourself into feeling better. And I was talking to a friend this week who said that she had some struggles with anxiety, and that often her father would say something like that, oh, just will yourself out of it. And she would say to her father, well, you have diabetes. Will yourself will yourself into regulating your sugar. And he's like, oh, well, that's impossible to do. And there's lifestyle changes. There's things that you have to do in order to get better if you have diabetes. And the same thing is with depression. Depression is not just something that you will yourself out of. It's not just something that you can just decide not to be depressed. It's a sickness. Your brain is sick. The brain can get sick, just like the heart can get sick, just like the lungs can get sick, just like the stomach can get sick, the brain can get sick. And you get treatment for your brain, just like you get treatment for your heart, for your diabetes, whatever it is that you're struggling with. You get treatment for these things. You can get treatment for your mental health. And if depression is something that you're struggling with, or that a loved one is struggling with, you got to treat it like a real sickness, because it is a real illness. When you treat it like a real illness, then you can get the help that you need for it. So I found that interesting, and I just wanted to drop by to talk to you about it, since it just came up in this seminar that I just gave. And people asked me, well, what do you do if they're using it for their benefit? Well, they're not using it for their benefit. Depression doesn't help anybody, doesn't benefit anybody, and it does involve a lot of things that a person may not be able to control. So treat it like a real sickness. Get the person the help that they need. All right, so this is going to look like 4 different things. You can address it by addressing the 4 quadrants of what we call the 4 quadrants of healing. How is a person's social life? And I would start there. How is their social life? Do they have good, solid relationships? How is their relationship with their parents? How is their relationship with their friends? Do they have friends? Are they being bullied at school? Addressing the social life of the person is very important, because it affects our mental health in such a major way. The second thing is, how is their physical life? Are they exercising at least 3 times a week? And what is the quality of their exercise? Are they sleeping, or are they struggling with insomnia? This is something that happens often, and it's a common factor that will help deteriorate your mental health. If you're struggling with insomnia, if you're not getting enough sleep. When I went through some of the more difficult times of my depressive period, before I had gotten help, I was I was not able to sleep. So addressing the sleeplessness is going to help you with your mental health. Addressing the exercise is going to help you with your mental health. There are some studies that indicate that certain exercises are even more beneficial than antidepressants. Some antidepressants. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't take antidepressants if you're on them. They have their purpose, but in some cases, the exercise is going to be very helpful for that. And in fact, in some people's conditions, the exercise is always included with their treatment plan. So If you're not exercising, make sure you're exercising. If you're not sleeping, make sure you're sleeping. And if your nutrition isn't where it needs to be, make sure your nutrition gets to where it needs to be, because nutrition also plays a major role when it comes to mental health. All right. How is their social? How is their physical? How is their spiritual life? Do they have a relationship with God, or do they have purpose and meaning in their life? These are very important things. If you have meaning, if you have purpose, you can weather the storm. You can weather things that come your way. But if you don't have purpose, you don't have meaning, then you are going to struggle. You are going to have mental illness that comes about. So you need to get, if you have a spiritual life, if you have a spiritual walk, if you're a Christian, then get connected. Make sure that your spiritual life is working for you and it's helping you, and that you find purpose and meaning in your life and in what you're doing. And finally, psychologically, if the person is struggling with mental illness, like depression or like anxiety, get them help. I'm a Hispanic, and in the Hispanic communities, getting help means you're crazy. It means admitting that you're crazy, but it's not like that. You're not crazy if you get help. You're not crazy if you go to a psychologist. You're not crazy if you get diagnosed with depression. You're not crazy if you get diagnosed with anxiety. It's a good thing. Seeking help is a good thing. So get the help that you need. Take the person to their local doctor. If it's a teen that you're working with, take them to their family doctor, have them diagnosed. They will refer you to somebody else if you need treatment from a mental health specialist. So let the professionals diagnose the person. And once the person is diagnosed, then get them the treatment that they need. You want to go down the natural path, go down the natural path. You want to ask for prayer, but get them diagnosed first. That way you know what you're dealing with and what you're working with. All right. So I just wanted to stop by and talk about that real quick. Because of that seminar, it left that on my mind, and I wanted to share it with you also. You might benefit from it. So if you haven't done so already, we have a course on helping a loved one with depression. I'm going to post it in the chat so that you can access it as well. You can go to Teachable, or rather to rescueloveministry.teachable.com. And right now it's the only course that we have there, but we are going to have a course on suicide prevention soon. So you might want to look out for that. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the chat for you so you can take a look. You can click it if you need it. All right. There you go. Okay. That's how to help a loved one with depression. It's going to help you out. Check it out. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. Have a wonderful afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And if you have any questions, post them in the chat. I'd love to hear your questions. I'd love to hear from you. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. Take care, guys.